Bully here. I'm just going to do a semi-quick video on the overview of some of the 4.10 changes since my last video and how they relate to 4.11 and some of the item changes and what I think basically things are going to shift towards. Basically, everything I said in my past video seemed to hold true for the most part, but they are buffing tank junglers with the new quill coat. HP stacking tank junglers pretty much. And I'm sure you've already experienced the terror of Maokai and solo queue. If you haven't, have fun with that. But so I'm just going to go over some quick things. BT, like I said, isn't very good anymore, especially since all this health is being buffed into these junglers and stuff. The people that are going to be sitting on your face as an AD carry or marksman. I think you're going to see a lot more people building Blade on auto attackers, even ones that have good ratios like Kate, just because of the fact that they're going to be stacking so much health. This at a certain, I don't know the math on it, but at a certain point, Blade the Rune King will out damage a BT depending on how much health they have. The only thing you need to worry about is squishies. Like, you're not going to be doing as much damage to squishies with Blade, but if you have good attack speed and the active is really good, especially for solo queue where you get into trouble and things like that. So all in all, I think this will be pretty standard. You know, like, obviously these spots are interchangeable depending on what they're building and what they have currently. Like I said, people with good ratios, I don't think you're going to see this much anymore with the BT, because it's more flat AD and more lifesteal, but like I said, just the health is just not that great. The common Lucian Twitch build is the Blade into Yomu's, and then you can go whichever one of these, also interchangeable depending on what they have. But this is also a very good build because you're getting a lot of attack speed from the active on Yomu's, so you can proc off the on-hit damage of Blade more, things like that. So I think you're going to be seeing a lot more of these two builds just purely because how they're changing the meta back to some tanky CC junglers. So yeah, we'll see how that works out more. And just to kind of reiterate a point from my last video, like the champions that are really popular, Kate can do well with a Blade as well. She kind of has a difficult mid game, more so than some other of the ADs that are popular right now, but she's still a good pick. Blue build Ezreal is kind of a niche pick, like, it's not that great. I personally think Jinx is really strong right now, just because she can build like the IEPD, the auto attacking build, even with the Blade, and still do extremely well. She still does a lot of bursts, does a lot of sustained damage, and her ranged rockets, they can crit multiple people, and the range is just insane. It's really hard to get to you. Kog'Maw is someone I didn't really go with the item set with, but I did in my past video, basically like Trinity Force Blade build. Basically anyone, and he does really well versus health stackers, but the only thing is tanky CC junglers can be a problem for him if he doesn't, if he's not even or ahead. But otherwise, he does shred tanks very, very well. Lucian will be pretty good just because he can do that build with the Blade of the Rune King and Ghost Blade. That's something to look out for too. Triss is really strong just because of how safe she is, and she's pretty versatile in what she can build. I think she'll go with the auto attacking build as well. Just this right here, and be extremely strong. Twitch as well, like I said, the Blade and Ghost Blade build. Vayne could do alright because she does well versus tanks and things like that. It's just she won't do quite as much damage in the mid game, but late game she'll be fine. And she can kite tanks very, very effectively, so you might even start seeing more of Vayne, but the only issue is she kind of loses lane to pretty much everyone who's popular, like Kate, Jinx. She can beat Cog and Lucian, And you get outscaled by Triss because the range. Yeah, it's really hard for Vayne to fight the Triss at a certain point, just because the range is so difficult to deal with. But other than that, I think it about covers everything. I guess I can go over what the ancient golem, the quill coat deal is all about. So they're trying to buff tanky junglers, kind of like the season 2 meta, I believe. And basically, what you're gonna start off with is boom and 4 of these bad boys because they buff the price of this, and so you can only get the 4 health pots now. And to change the Hunter's Machete, I believe, is an overall nerf, is the general consensus. It might be a buff just because you get 10 flat AD versus monsters, so some AD junglers might have benefited from this, but overall I'm pretty sure it's just a nerf. Let's see here, and then you're going to want to have the quill coat into the ancient golem. Now, since this has bonus health, it gives you a lot of options on top of already really good stats, but they took away the tenacity, so you're going to want to get Merc Treads again with this. Don't let people yell at you and be like, oh, the unique passives don't stack. They're retarded. There's no more tenacity on the Spirit of the Ancient Golem. So this is going to be your core. Tanky junglers, CC junglers are usually melee, so you're going to want the Merc Treads pretty early if you plan on fighting anything, just to be able to get in there and stick and not get kited around too much. But I've seen a lot of that into like a War Mogs. I've seen that. If you're rushing a Blade, like, don't worry about this build at all. Like, if you're rushing a Blade, this build is fine to play against, just because it gives a very minimal armor, and the War Mogs are going to be shredding through. Seen that. With like a Randuin's in there, that's when it starts getting a little problematic, because they have a bunch of health and a decent amount of armor. Or you might even see a Frozen Heart, which might even be the smarter option, as opposed to Randuin's. And then when they start getting items with even more health, let's say they get a Banshees and then a Thornmail, like this. This is when it starts getting really problematic, even if you do have a Blade, just because they have so much armor and a Thornmail. Like, it's gonna hurt. Like, they may have to tone back the bonus health and things like that on this item, just because, like, I've played against it, like, where I've been an 80 carry with a Blade, and, like, I did well the entire game. But, like, a build like this, just, you can't really compete with it. And, like, their jungler wasn't even, like, ahead or anything. I just got to a point in the game where, like, yeah, I couldn't do damage to him, and he would just dive on me and do an immense amount of damage. So, we'll see where this goes, but something like this is a pretty common build. So you just gotta watch out for it. And if I figure out a way to deal with this, I'll do an update video. But appreciate it, and thank you guys for watching.